Hello, today I'm gonna share you how I complete this project and what are the requirements. Basically, your project is consist of penetration testing and the core thing to target the Reaper machine. This is your Google Drive where I can download the OVA of Reaper, and after that, I just made the virtual box of Reaper machine when I download the Reaper OVA. What exactly I want to say that, and yeah, here we can go to start. First step, there is some important tool which is used for network scanning purpose and find the vulnerabilities of a system. So here are different ways that I can use according to your requirements. Like here is some tool that mentioned in your report: OpenWAS, Nessus, and Nmap. These are basically a network enumeration tool, and with using this tool we can find the vulnerability of a system and exploit the system. So uh, let's move to the step one: penetration testing requirements that I mentioned in your report. So this is what exactly the method one we can scan with using Nmap, and also I mentioned Nessus or OpenWAS scanning that I have to show you here. Where is OpenWAS and Nessus scanning? So that is very clear to you. Yeah, this is exactly the Nessus scanning of your Reaper OVA. So, and this is your OpenWAS scanning. That's our two to three main tools that for use scanning purpose, and we have to scan the system and find out the open ports of a system and find the vulnerability of a system. So first of all, here we can create a Reaper VM, and after that, let's come to the this is your major part that will be complete for a scanning purpose, and I mentioned the description also. So yeah, the point two is to exploit the system when you find the vulnerabilities. So here the method I use, metasploit. There is two methods for exploit the system and find the admin vulnerability. So yeah, you see here, this is IP address. We found the open ports and how we can get the URL through IP with port and access the port of given to machine. So with using the port number 10000, we can access the admin portal. Here the picture I'll show we are completely logged in with using or exploit with completely compromised the system. And here is the method 2 that I mentioned in my second virtual machine, which is consist of private network connection, and here I can use different different IP address with the clarify that the other method is also useful. So let's come to the exploit. Yeah, this is a exploit way that mentioned in your project. Exploit with two ways. So here is a command line way, and also we can exploit your system with using SSH, Reaper SSH login credential. So yeah, here you see that this is a basically meta exploit framework where we will use different two type of we find vulnerability of your system like webmin. So we will use exploit Linux webmin file manager RCE, that is a payload for taking the reverse shell I mentioned here. And after that, there is a second method we will use to exploit your system in your public environment. Suppose we have IP address 192.168.100.47. So we can access the Reaper Ubuntu machine with using this IP address, and we find the port number 10000. So we can add the inverted commas, and after that we can access the page of basically Reaper OVA. And after we see here is a link of Reaper OVA, we just click on and come to the webmin page. And we also need to compromise this webmin page because we can access the web server. So here is a step that I use with the SSH first of all, here I find a hash that I convert to the base 64 or PHP code. After that, I yeah. After that, I need to access with this to SSH, and I use to cubes at the rate reapermin, which is this one. Okay, yeah, this one. Just I need to show you the cube. Yeah, here you can see cubes is a remote access, which is basically consists of your administration USC access, user access control access. So I just find the password of cubes, and I will show you how I can find the password, and that's all. So I remotely take a reverse shell of this, and I find the admin credential. Here you can see admin. The password is Tokyo Hotel. So yeah, this is a web portal. I write admin and the password of the system and completely logged in with using the credentials. Here I can mention the admin credential, how I can get the admin credential, username and password, and it is a method for taking the access of admin portal, and we can completely compromise this machine. So yeah, in your section 3, which is consists of application scanning result, and you told me missing ports number and service name and version. So yeah, TCP/22 and TCP/80 HTTPs, the service are running of Apache HTTPD and mini server OpenSSH. So these are the table that I mentioned here. So after that, we have an explanation of the methodology, how I can do these all things with using network discovery and Nmap. Interpretation of results. Here I can mention the service and the version. So port number and SSH HTTPD ports. So here we can see SSH scanning and OpenVAS scanning. The description of both of these, and section 4 is consist of access via exploit with using metasploit. So here I mentioned earlier, we use a reverse shell of basically how we can take the reverse shell with using webmin. So here are different methods. I use 2 methods to take the shell and change the password of the Reaper machine, which is free compromised, and I mentioned the screenshots here. Yeah, this is the IP address 10.0.2.15, which is my another virtual machine that I used to take the metasploit compromised, and metasploit payloads basically. So this is the way. This is another way how we can get the access, and yeah, this is a scanning and map scanning result, or this is another way which is used to for taking the reverse shell and change the password or username. In this screenshot, you can see how I can change the username and password of the Reaper machine and take the fully access, which is fully compromised. So let's come to the section 4, which is consist of required screenshots, including running of the exploit, gaining shell access, who am I, etc, and PWD password. So yeah, when I take the SSH credentials login and fully access of the system, we can see when I write the UMI Reaper and the password. Here I can go with using the file. So you can see here cat etc, and this is a script which is give me a privileges to find the other files. So this is basically what exactly I need to find the admin credentials for login purpose. I take the screenshot of ID. I take the screenshot of mini server logs, which is basically login cookies session. Here we can get the administration access and password, and here I can show the portal login and the vulnerability when I log in the portal, the environment of the portal, which is mentioned in this earlier. So section 5, which is consists of missing separate dedication vulnerabilities, CVE port number, and all of these things, which is consist of step by step. Number 1, vulnerability service and version, which is mentioned here. You can see port number, CVE number, steps of discover vulnerabilities, service enumeration phase, and step of exploit vulnerability. All of these are mentioned here with a practical way of a screenshot, with theoretical way of explanation. Here is the risk assessment, some shortly critical risk, and the section N, which is consist of access via user login. So here you can see, and also password policy and MFA disabling unused control and monitoring login attempts. These all are screenshots that I mentioned here. Yeah, you can see I can find the password and how I can log in with SSH Reaper. This password for use the SSH purpose. I used to log in as a SSH login on Reaper machine. After that, I find a file which is provide me the cube. Cube is also Ubuntu, yeah, which is also a Ubuntu part cube and Reaper. So this password is for cube. Here I can log in with using the password of Cube and ID. Here I can see the login credentials and I log in and compromise the Reaper completely. Here I can completely log in, and these are the webmin users allowed and disallowed, unused and used. And this is basically the session that is mentioned for when I logged in. After that, the password restrictions that are mentioned to mention the screenshot. Here is a MFA two-factor authentication, and here is a user authentication, and what exactly the conclusion. We can write the complete executive summary here, and in the last I can add cubes and reapers. These are fully remotely compromised, so that's why I mentioned here. This is your all complete report and nothing is remaining. If I will show you also the practical how I can complete this. Yeah, this is my another calling machine where I can take the access of this. I am going to show you. Yeah, I compromise the Reaper OVA with using my Kali Linux. So this is what exactly I did. I log in with using SSH Reaper password. When I log in here, I just I got the shell of Reaper. After that, I search who am I and the other commands that is need to execute, and I find the flag or all the etc. I find the cube's login password, and here we go to log in the cube Reaper. After that, we log in the cube with using the password. We can see the ID and cube's logs. After that, we can go to the file that is very important, which is mini server logs. We can find the admin credentials. So this is what exactly need to be accessed and how we can did all these things. Yeah, here you can see here is a file that is consists of a session of keys of login, and this is what exactly the user credentials for login purpose. Here I can show you this is a password of login. Here I can log out this. I am going to log out, and I will show you how I can log in again. This is basically my previous work when I did. So this is a password that I use to SSH login. This is the IP address where I can access the Ubuntu Apache page, and this is for the port number, compromised port number, where I can access this page. So this is exactly the Reaper min 1000 page where I can use to access this page and log in.